Julius Van Hook, and I am the chair of this committee, and we're so glad to have everyone here in attendance this morning.
Oh, excuse me, I'm Brenda Lee, also a member of OCEC, representing West Contra Costa County.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And by way of announcements, I'd like to say that in general, we are always seeking new applicants and candidates,
Yes,
and
sir.
we will be working on a targeted recruitment program, uh, at some point so that we can continue in our outreach and community engagement. Actually, um, I've been reaching out to some people in the faith-based community about applying as well. So we're excited about that. At this time, we'd like to open the floor for any public comment on any item under the jurisdiction of the Community Advisory Board not on this agenda. Saying none, we're going to move forward.
Okay.
Our next action item is to approve the minutes from February 24th, 2024. And the attachment is pages 4 to 6.
Oh,
And I'm going to move that we approve the minutes as is. I don't see on my end any need for any correction or alteration.
I second that motion,
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah, we have a motion. We have a second. I'll take a roll call vote. Reverend Julius Van Hook,
Aye.
Brenda Lee,
Aye.
motion carries.
Awesome.
Okay.
Also like to acknowledge the presence of our chairperson, Miss Ozzie Carter. Thank you so much for supporting our subcommittee as you always do. It really is appreciated. We're glad to always have you in our midst. All right. Our next item is to discuss subcommittee members' roles and responsibilities. Okay.
Here's page
So if we could take a look at page 7, member assignment.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, that was 22, right? So we're going to update it because this says 2022 CAB Ambassador Program members assignments. So what exactly are we looking at?
Reverend, are you on the discussion topic, discuss subcommittee members' roles and responsibilities, or are we skipping to discuss and planning process for the ambassador meeting?
I was on number 4, but we were just looking
Okay.
for some guidance on that. If we were looking at page 6 or 7.
Yeah,
we
so
were-
there's no, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no attachment for the discussion item number 4. It was just for you all to have a discussion on what are the roles and responsibilities of the subcommittee members if one of you all is not absent. It's only 2 of you, so I don't know how much there is to discuss, but I do think it is a good idea to understand who does what. Like Brenda always sends me the notes and stuff like that. So you're aware of like who's doing what and like the work doesn't stay stagnant.
Okay, so I'll continue to send you the notes, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
And I will continue as the chairperson to attend the planning committee meetings and collaborate with the team to ensure that our meetings are planned properly and executed.
All
We'll
right.
continue
Sounds
to do
good.
that in the meantime so that
Okay.
We can get new members.
Okay.
Right, let's see. Next agenda item is to discuss planning process for ambassador meeting. And we should see attachment 2, starting at page 7.
Yeah, so the intention behind this discussion item is for the subcommittee to review it and to see if there's any like edits that the ORJ would need to make. I don't think you start your ambassador meetings until July, so we have a little bit of time. So that's why it was here today for us to just review it and go through it to make sure like everything looks good before we share it with the full board to start the scheduling of ambassador meeting.
Well, I will say this, upon review of our last, the review that we've done in the last couple meetings, I think that our team, our committee has done a great job of going out to the community and bringing back the recommendations and getting information. I think that we've had a pretty good system for making sure that that happens, and we've had a good number of follow-up, I'd like to say. I really did enjoy reviewing the notes and, you know, trying to synthesize what the results were. So is there any discussion on our methodology?
I don't see any. I've looked at it several times and I'm okay with the you know, the guide for the 23 guide. I checked the you know, executive summary to make sure that we were on board with that. And I looked at all the recommendations and I'm like, okay, I'm in agreement with that. So I am comfortable with the way it is set up presently. So if anyone besides us has comment, then we're, you know, we're happy to receive them.
Yes.
Because I've reviewed it several times, so I'm okay with this.
Ozzy, did you have any suggestions for the ambassador's guide? Any edits?
Not at this time. I haven't really given it a real close fine tooth. Pretty much contingent upon last year and looking at the toolkit. The only thing that I would like to probably really emphasize, and that's not dealing with the toolkit, but our extended effort to encourage the board members as far as participation. That would be the caveat. And I heard you say that July is our target date to begin the process. I would like to make a suggestion that maybe we move that up to another a month, because of how things have rolled out the past several years. I've got the opportunity to see what happens, and what generally happens is you have 3 board members who are doing all the meetings. And that's, you know, I'm just adding that caveat because so that we don't have that circumstance, because what that shoulders is the executive team has to go and participate on those meetings. So the caveat is whenever we start talking about this, an emphasis being placed on board participation, because it is an opportunity, one, for board members to acquaint themselves to the public figures that we actually deal with, you know, not just the community-based organization, but the powers that be, the district attorney, the supervisors, and developing that rapport. And now that we have a track record and we have some things that are coming back to report to or follow up from our last year, and keeping that sequence going, that, you know, when we report, when we go, we do our report outs, and then we come back and we decipher that so that we have a trail that we can go back to reiterate when we go back the next year, developing that rapport that we definitely want to have as a community advisory board, because, you know, it's apparent that we've gained some momentum and we want to definitely continue to level up as a board.
I agree. Thank you for your commentary. I think that additional preparation will make a big difference, especially with the limited amount of people that we do have. Um,
Okay, so my question is for the ambassador meetings, right? So in other words, members of CAB will select which, BOS or CCP members, community members that we want, like we did last year. So either you suggesting we start that process in June rather than in July? That's the question that I'm asking. So we're gonna start actually preparing ourselves to, yes, that one, to go out and meet with our counterparts in the community, the supervisors and the other issues. So I'm looking at the 23 program member assignments. So either you're saying you want us to start looking at that in June, or your suggestion is maybe we should start looking at it in June.
Right, just for more participation and understanding the
Okay.
depth of the commitment. So because
Okay.
you're gonna get people that's gonna fall off,
Right.
considering their scheduling. And then people have to get on task to schedule, to make sure that they can, pick up those specific meetings. So just starting a little bit earlier, because we have to remember individuals already have an agenda. They already have a calendar. So we want to try to get on and we want to try to finish up before the end of the year, because I think we had some carryovers till the first of this year that we never received any feedback from, just because of scheduling. I'm just merely making the suggestion that maybe we start earlier to kind of like familiarize people with what's happened and how the process should really happen, so that we get them vested early enough to to construct those emails, to make those contacts, because it's a process. And, and sometimes people don't want to do that because they're lazy. They don't want to reach out. We have the information right here in the toolkit of people to email and response and what have you. It's not really that hard. Okay. But so I'm attributing to laziness. I'm just going to be honest. And then that makes more work for other people. We all have schedules and none of us are getting paid, but I'm just saying that we should try to put the flags up early to get more participation.
I agree.
That's my 2 cents.
Gotcha.
No, I agree. Thank you.
Accept your 2 cents worth.
I had a quick question. I think that's a great point, and I think the toolkit is a fabulous thing, especially the outlines that you guys have for like what the email communication could look like. I think what would be helpful and what's helpful for me is like deadlines. If like this has to be done by a certain time, I think that will probably motivate folks more to like get their task or get their emails or communications out there. Is there something like that in this guideline, or would that have to be developed?
I think we'd have to develop that. We discussed it last time, but that makes perfect sense that we should have deadlines so people are on point. This is when you need to do this. And then also we can check back in. That's CAP, if that's OCEC's responsibility to make sure that the people who have assignments have actually begun their assignments. So I'm assuming that would be something that OCEC would be responsible for. The CAB would get together, I guess, to decide the deadline. Because I'm thinking if you start in June, they should be contacted no later than August, September, and that's pushing it. Okay, so I'm saying if we say, just pretend, let's start this in June. Then by August, you at least should have made, we should know who's assigned what and who they're going to contact and have they made their initial contact. That way we know for sure. And if that's something that OCEC should be responsible for, that's something we need to, can discuss at CAB. Does that make sense?
I have a question.
Mhm.
So in June, and it takes 2 months to make an initial contact?
No, I said I was giving him that,
Oh.
no, to me, I would say, as soon as I get an assignment, I'm on it. But
Yeah.
like you said, people need time. So I'm saying at least give them, okay, because if you look at it, it's only 2 meetings. okay, between when we start and when we're saying to them, we want you to at least have made your first contact. I would say, okay, you got a month, but a lot of people are busy and they're saying, well, I can't do that. So that's why I said, give them 2 months. If you want to cut it down to 6 weeks, but I'm just looking at, that's only 2 meetings with us getting together. You see, so that's how I would look at it, but it's up to however we want to, look at it. Because Ozzy, I see you have this look on your face. What does that look? You're like, what?
No, I'm just gonna apologize for saying people are lazy. I'm gonna retract that statement. That wasn't politically correct. People have
Okay.
lives, and I understand that. I'm just a proactive person. Okay, give myself a pat on the back.
Yeah. And I think it would also, back to your question, Ozzy, about like the time frame between like the reach out and when the meeting is, it would be helpful to like list out what are the steps in the ambassador's programs guide between like the first contact and when you actually have to sit down with this person, what happens in between and what happens before the meeting and after the meeting. So if we had like documented like outlined steps of like pre-meeting, during meeting, and post-meeting with like deadlines, I feel like that will alleviate confusion and delay.
Well,
So
that
my-
is in, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Oz.
no,
ahead.
go ahead. I just was gonna ask Ariana, was she going to take on that responsibility to do that?
Oh, to be,
to develop that timeline, or is that gonna be OCEC's responsibility?
I would just need some guidance because I haven't like sat in the, like, this is my first time doing the whole ambassadors process. So I don't even know where you guys start. I just know the end goal is like this meeting. So I would just need more assistance on like, what are the steps before the meeting happens? But yeah, the ORJ is always here to support the CAB and the OCEC subcommittee. So we can collaborate on this effort together.
You're so nice. I'm in my joking mood today. I hope we're all family here. It's only 3 of us. I get to act up sometimes because I'm not in the room.
well, that makes sense. And in the KISS toolkit, we do have, requesting and confirming ambassadors meetings. So that you could say, okay, what's the deadline for that? Okay, first of all, we need to get the deadline of the assignments, because you remember that took a little while to see who's going to do what. So I would like to see the CAB members, a current listing of our CAB members. So that'll give us a better idea, what positions we could sort of go after, because I know several people on that list are no longer with us. Correct? I believe, what am I looking at it? Hold on. Yes, Crawford's not there anymore. Evan? Is Evan still with us?
No.
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 Okay, so that's Crawford and Evan that we no longer have. And Scott.
Yeah, this list is definitely outdated. So you're so correct,
we
Brenda.
need a current listing of, of the members.
Yeah, I'll
so
provide that as an
okay, thank you.
as a next step.
I would know.
Okay, and then that way we know what members we have, and are the assignments, so the community correction partnerships, is this still the list that we want to go with? And the board of supervisors. I remember when Nicole and I were trying to work with the court, we had an issue. Do we still want them on? Because they said they have to be impartial. So I think we may want to take the court off or not. You know what I'm saying? Because I know we had an issue trying to get a meeting with them, and they finally explained to us why they couldn't. So we want to take them off and put something else. Is there anyone else we want to include? Or is that our responsibility to find this? My question is, who created this grid? Do we know? We don't know.
These are great questions, and I can follow up with Patrice. I'm not sure who created the grid. Oh, go ahead, Reverend.
Okay.
I'm just saying, it may have been Monique when she was with us.
Oh yeah, so it might be an ORJ thing. So I'll follow up with Patrice about can we take, is it possible to take the court off? Is that something we would want to consider? We can also bring that to the full body.
Okay.
for their consideration. And I'll also ask Patrice, who else do we want to include? Like what other agencies, organizations, or administration contacts that we want to get involved with, hear from.
I think on the Board of Supervisors, I thought I heard somewhere that Glover was retiring.
Yes, this is his
And
last,
so-
yeah,
Oh, he's gone already?
no, this
Okay,
is his
so-
last year.
It's his last year. Okay, so we would leave him on the list then, I guess. That's my question. I know I'd seen his name. I said, oh, I thought he was retiring, so, okay. 1, 2, 3. So we have 5 Board of Supervisors. Okay. I guess I'm through asking questions, you guys.
No, those were all great questions. Okay, so we're gonna move the dates up. So we have action items for that.
Yeah.
Are all hearts and minds clear for number 5 for us to move on?
So I'm just looking what am I looking at?
Number 6? Yes. Okay,
Okay.
so moving forward, number 6.
Oh, wait,
agenda
wait,
items.
wait, excuse me. I'm sorry. So are we developing the dates? Is that what we were supposed to be developing the dates for? I know the first thing is to come back and actually provide a list of the current board members. So
Right.
are we not gonna establish date times for rollout?
We can do that now if you'd like. If you, or do you think we need? Well, let me ask you this. That may be dependent on, once we actually see how many people we have, we may be able to really delineate the timelines, because again, to what your earlier point, we had a very different group, which consisted of a different types of people. And so now we really need to, which is again, I'm glad why you brought it up. I'm glad that you brought up us moving earlier, so that we can really make time to get these things done with the types of people that we have on the cab now, as opposed to the people that we had when we first came up with this. Because I think some of the timing and schedules can be conflicting, which is what, again, thank you for bringing that up. I said all that to say, do you think that would be helpful in deciding the time, or do you think we should go ahead and try to do that now? I'm fine either way, but I think it's worth discussing.
I'm confused. Which dates are we talking about? Our deadline dates for assignments? Or are we talking about a date for the rollout of actually doing the ambassador meetings? Because I think we need to set up the deadline for the requirements, like, you need to have your meetings done by this date, you need to have your correspondence, a response by this date. So that's the kind of dates that I'm looking at. And then once we have that, hopefully by August, well, okay, Ozzy, July, we can, then we can set up, the grid for meeting with, our partners that we want to do. That's how I was looking at it, that I think those were the dates we need to set up first. Yes? Okay,
I agree.
okay. So we need to set up, so we're gonna need deadline dates. Okay, that's what I'm trying to think. We need deadlines for your initial contact, right? So, well, no, first we need our assignments, because how are you gonna, yeah, initial contact, that's the email or phone call or phone. Because some people would, some people answer the phone, some prefer email. And then what's the second thing we need to know? We need to make sure we know the dates that, the contact date and your what? Oh, I can't think. What did we say, Gabriana? We needed the deadline dates for the initial contact, sending out an email or a confirmation. That's what it is. We need like a deadline date for a confirmation.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah, just like we're just trying to like develop a timeline of like
Yeah.
actionable items with deadlines for the cab members to like follow along as they go throughout their ambassadors meetings process, with like scheduling and reaching out and following up.
Okay, correct. All right. That's what I was thinking. So Oz, are we on the same page now?
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Okay. So what's next, sir?
Okay. Next is agenda item number 6, discuss planning process for AB 109 mini summit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm so glad that we have our very capable chairperson with us. I know that we talked about this a little bit. And I know that we're very passionate about making sure that this was done and done properly. Not that it hasn't been, but just putting our full care and attention into it. And so I'd like to see, Ozzy, if you had something you'd like to say on that for us first.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate that. I have been working and moving forward on the summit. The first thing that came to the forefront of the entire process was actually renaming it. So we're going to start from the beginning, renaming it from AB 109 mini summit to the second annual AB 109 mini summit. The Contra Costa County second annual AB 109 mini summit. And after coming up with revamping that, and I actually, all of this, I had discussion with our vice chair, Nicole Green. We've had some informal meetings discussing moving forward so that I could have something to present to this subcommittee. Because I understood that Crawford had kind of taken the reins on it and was moving forward. And the only thing that I wanted to do was first, I got to go all the way back, was make sure that it was in place. The first thing I should have said is the date. Our date is the same date as it was last year. But this year it's a Friday, August the 23rd, 2024. And we've already had the space available that will be at ORJ from 9 until, or it's from 10 until 12. Garyana, can you help me with that date again? I'm creating a blank. The time.
I don't have it. Let me look it up really quickly.
Oh, I have it from 10 a.m. until 12:30
10 to 12:30.
at our same place of business on the second floor in the Madrone's Sequoia room. And one of the things that I did, that I put that in place so that we would have a place and it would be something comfortable and it's enough space there for us to have a larger audience if that might be the case. The second thing I did was we talked about the name and imprinting it to be something that's going to be annual. I feel that it was Crawford's vision to hand it off to another county. But I think that it was skeleton. It was kind of like a skeleton. It didn't have some of the little things that I would call bells and whistles to it. And I kind of came back to do some little minor things to make it kind of like a presentation of what we're really about as a Contra Costa Community Advisory Board under public safety and realignment. And one of those things is a mission statement. You know, the why we are here, why we're actually formulating this mini summit, and why, you know, after the first year, we wanted to come back and revamp it, because we came back and we saw the success and we saw the collaboration, we saw the interaction, we saw the excitement. And, you know, people are really anxious about this, because I got a letter way before I even thought I would be receiving information regarding trying to find out, are we going to have another summit? It was really nice last year and we really want to participate. And I got this information, I got an email and I was like, okay, I'm on the right vein. And it just kind of like really encouraged me to move forward. So I've actually have developed a mission statement that is possible. Garyana, if you could pull that up on the screen for us, please.
Unfortunately, I cannot show it because it was not included in their agenda packet. So the
Okay.
public was not notified about it. But you
Okay.
are allowed to read it,
Okay, very
and
good.
I could print it for the members to see, but I can't post it publicly.
Okay, very good. So I'll take this time to read the mission statement. And it's empowering reentry populations through collaborative safety realignment. The Contra Costa County Advisory Board, CAB, is committed to fostering the successful reintegration of individuals impacted in Contra Costa County. Our second annual mini summit serves as a platform for stakeholders to encourage, to converge, strategize, and prioritize initiatives aimed at maximizing the utilization of AB 109 funding. We pledge to facilitate dialogue, cultivate partnerships, and advocate for policies that promote community safety, rehabilitation, and holistic support for reentry populations. Through innovation, inclusivity, and evidence-based practices, we endeavor to foster a culture of resilience, dignity, and opportunity for all individuals navigating the reentry process. Together, we will chart a path towards sustainable change, ensuring that every member of our community has the resources and support necessary to thrive post-incarceration. So that's what I came up with, and I thought putting that together and presenting it to this committee as part of our package with your approval and with your input, additions, corrections, or whatever you might see fit. This is just something that I engineered because I felt that it could be, and looking at the big picture, what we're going to organize, a binder, there's things that we need to have put in place. And I thought that this would be a great opener for our upcoming binder or presentation packet that we might be presenting to the public. I'm open for comments.
I thought the mission statement was great. I thought it really captured the essence of everything that we are doing. We're doing and are endeavoring to do. I think it's beautiful. I think it is inclusive. I think that it is inspirational as we go about our mission. And I think it really helps us to really have a cohesive nature as a board, so we can always reflect on this and everything that we do. I love it.
Yes. I was very impressed with that. And I'm like, okay, this will be our forefront. It'll be out in
Yes,
front. This is
yes.
something that they, our stakeholders will see, anyone who comes on board, to be a CAB member. And it's right there. And I think it should always be, I would probably bold it to make sure that it came out front and center, because it encompasses everything that we're trying to do. And it will be the forerunner to anything that follows up behind it, because we'll always keep this, and this should be in our forefront of our mind. This is our mission statement, and this is what we want our stakeholders and, and the public to be aware of. So thank you, Ozzy. I don't see any corrections that time. I'll take it home and double check, make sure that, but from what I heard you read, I was very impressed with that. Thank you. Okay.
I appreciate the comments and the input, and I would definitely appreciate a reread and just, to be firmed in that and moving forward. What I would like to ask Ariana, with the discussion that we've just had, could this be something that we would move forward in keeping as part of our resource package that we might be giving out at the AB 109 Summit? I'm just wanting to go on record to make sure that this would be part of that.
Yeah, this is you guys' thing. So whatever you guys want to pass out, provide, include in the AB 109 mini summit, let us know and we will have that ready and available. My question is, Ozzy, have you contacted the other counties? Because I know Santa Clara was interested in potentially hosting an AB 109 mini summit. And I thought that they were going to reach out to you. Have you heard from them?
I have heard from them. Yes, I have. I received some information, an email from them on Friday, April 5th, reaching out. And this was from Brian Evans, and he's excited about the upcoming summit and wanted to know how they could continue to partner. And what I did, and I did this prior to consulting OCEC, I had generated a letter. I was trying to get to that. I had generated a letter to the stakeholders, and I think I sent a copy to all the board members as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Garyana. That letter to the stakeholder providers and stakeholders. And in that letter, it was asking them to participate. And so after I received the email from Brian from Santa Clara County, because I didn't get the feeling that he was asking per se to host it. He was asking per se to be a part of it and what we were going to do. And that prompted me creating this letter. And I kind of sent it out to him and to other members who were present last year, to those providers that showed up last year. I went ahead and sent that letter to them. I still have some other research to do as far as any other cabs that have been formed. But I have a meeting coming up this coming Tuesday, Nicole and I, with an organization called Home Base, who's actually done some research on different CCPs in California that are actually receiving AB 109 funding. So I kind of like held off because until that actual meeting, because this is a secret. My plan is, because this is information, I think that this person could probably offer a lot of input at our mini summit because they've already done the research. They've already talked to various cabs throughout the state that are receiving AB 109 funds. So they're actually doing a lot of the work for us. So after that meeting, hopefully I will have more connections or more information to move forward. Because it's really difficult when you go online. We have so many counties in Northern California, and actually those who are actually have functioning cabs under AB 109. There's a lot of programs and things. There's a lot of probation departments and what have you. So it's a process of just screening that and seeing how it's going to look over the next, we have until, well, we don't, time is moving fast, and August is coming up. I have my work cut out for me, and I'm really on task with it. But the letter, can I ask the board members whether or not they received the letter to the stakeholders?
I received it.
Okay.
That's the email that you sent out. I think it was an email, correct?
Correct.
Yes, I did see that. I did see that.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, I think I responded back to you, say, yeah, it looks good. If
Okay.
not, I meant to, okay?
Likewise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is just a helpful reminder. If you do have something that you want to show the full body or the full board, please send it to the ORJ so we're not in violation of any Brown Acts. You guys cannot be in communication with each other. So if you do have something you want to send to the rest of the Community Advisory Board, please send it to the ORJ, me or Patrice, and we'll make sure it gets to the rest of you guys.
Okay, I violated.
No worries, Ozzy. Just a helpful reminder, but we
Thank
appreciate
you.
the work that you are putting in to make sure the Community Advisory Board's efforts are being recognized and uplifted. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I'll
I
do
have a
better.
question. Yeah, look, we'll follow your lead. So you got corrected, we're corrected. So
Thank
we're
you
all,
for your
we're all,
passion.
we're all corrected.
We're all corrected, but we
Yes.
love your passionate
Yeah.
leadership. It is rubbing off.
Yes. I have a question to the stakeholders. Do we know how many stakeholders we have? Is that something that OCEC should be involved in to know, what stakeholders are going to be included in the summit?
Good question. And a follow-up question to that is, would that include, for example, like the entire faith-based community that we're going to be reaching out to as well too, as we've added that robust list to our group? Like, is that everybody we deal with, or is it only CBOs?
Stakeholders,
All stakeholders.
All stakeholders.
all
Okay.
stakeholders that have an
that's the-
interest. Yes,
So that's the community as well, then.
absolutely. It's because everything we do is public. They have to be
This is true.
involved.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
So we need to find out the secretary to the faith-based members, because they're like, what, over 100? But there's one lady that we should definitely contact, because she makes sure that it gets dispersed out to the faith-based community. And Crawford talked to her, and I don't know if he recorded what her name was, so we need to find out
Okay.
how we proceed with the faith-based group.
So I have
Got a
another,
question?
I do have a question. If in fact the board members have any knowledge of CBOs or partners that they would like to see at the retreat, I'm sorry, at the summit, please include that. You know, this is not a one-person show. I'm just kind of like trying to get the infrastructure set up so that we're not running behind in August, because we have other things that are up and coming. So my list is very limited currently. I'm only able to operate from the list that I inherited from Crawford at this point. Besides from the meeting that I'm having next week on Tuesday with a representative from a research group called Home Base and Nicole, then I'll have more information. I'm new, and I'm just, uncovering and digging to really make sure that we cover all of our bases, but I do need help on this.
Higher heights and deeper depths. We got you.
Yes, you can always call, you can always call me and say, can you do, if you're available to help me with whatever, or can you take over something, so that we are, because I feel that it's really almost our project too. So we
Mhm.
need to be actively involved in every aspect of this summit. That's why I was wondering, who our stakeholders are and how far do we go? Like I said, when I was talking to Reverend Van Hook today about, the faith-based group, because we did get a list, and it was hundreds of religious groups. So, but they do have a secretary and she asked, I think Crawford said, she asked us to go through her instead of, trying to hit all the denominations that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, would she be a stakeholder? I would think they would be. So
Mm-hmm.
just wondering.
Yeah, we have a variety of stakeholders, and there's only one thing that we have to keep in mind: our space and how we're going to provide with the time frame and feeding individuals that particular day will be also another issue. And making sure that when we do send out the invitations, and making sure it's our RSVP, so that
Absolutely.
we are not getting too much food or running, short of space. So it's really imperative that we really try to hone. It's open meeting, anyone can come. And we want to really make sure that we have a list of people who we really know are uplifting the reentry population, who can actually, this is the other piece, the presentations, and how they're going to present. One of the things that I've emphasized is that we have technical assistance here, which means they'll have to upload slides. The slides would have to be approved. So that process has to also go into that piece as well. So there's a lot of things in this thing that we're bringing forth to fruition that has to be considered. And sometimes I need reminders too. My assistant quit.
Oh,
I was just gonna
Oh.
add, is there like an agenda or an outline for like the flow of the day for the AB 109 mini summit? If not, that could be like something that maybe OCC could work on as a potential next step, or you all can work on together as a potential, or as like a potential next steps.
Well, one of the things that I thought about was the inherited flow, which was just something that gave every organization that was there within the was being represented had an opportunity. There were several questions that were asked, and I think each organization was given 15 minutes to kind of like go through their processes and what they're doing. One of the things is that there was only one AB 109 or cab, and that was Alameda cab that was there. So that was primarily our concern. The rest of them were primarily organizations, portions of the probation department, the reentry services. They're organized totally a different way than having a CAB administering or making recommendations to CCP. So that's an issue, that we don't really have a bandwidth of cabs. And that's what I'm trying to find out. Where are the other cabs? Are there any other cabs? And that's why I'm keep going back. When I had this meeting on Tuesday, then I'll be able to kind of better understand it, besides wearing myself out looking, because, you know, they might be out there, but they're not coming up on my computer, on my radar.
Well, that's something we can help with. I can help with looking up. Because when I got invited to CAB, that's something that I did look up. I did Google, you know, CAB to see, and there are, I think, a couple of other counties. So maybe we need to, you know, have a discussion about what counties you contacted or have access to, and then the ones that I think that I've seen, that we could say, okay, well, what about this one? And maybe we can, I haven't seen any contact name. Like you said, Alameda County is out there, and there was one other county, I don't know if it's Fresno or something in Southern California, there was a CAB that they had set up. So maybe that's something we as OCEC could help with, you know, to look and see if there are other cabs out there, so that, you know, everything's not on you, Ozzy. It's like, okay, this is something that we should participate in. So that's something that we could actively do, you know, to take some of the pressure off you.
Absolutely.
And if you needed more help, you just need to, you know, you can text me, email me, you know, and say, if it's okay, could you do this? And then Garyana, you make sure we'll contact you to say, is this okay for us to do this? Because I don't want us to do anything that's, you know, we shouldn't be doing. So that's how we could work that. Okay.
Okay, so for clarity, Garyana, working offline with individual board members is okay because I'm the chairperson, correct?
Yes, long as it's not, I think the CAB has a 12-member body, so a quorum is 7. So if it's not 7 you guys present, then you're not violating the Brown Act. If you're just having one-on-one conversations about like potential next steps for the OCEC subcommittee, then I think that would be okay. But we're just trying to like eliminate secret conversations that the public is not aware of. I think that's what the
Correct.
Brown Act is trying to prevent.
Got it.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
In other words, so Ozzy, say pretend you and I had a conversation, we need to bring it to CAB to make sure that we haven't violated the Brown Act. Is that correct? Is that how we would do that?
So like you and Ozzy is like okay, but like you and Reverend talking is not
Okay, got it. Not okay.
because you and Reverend sit on the same subcommittee, so that's like a violation of like,
Okay, no,
yeah,
okay, on the same committee. I got
yeah,
it. Okay, so
yeah.
okay.
But if it was like you, Ozzy, Reverend, Nicole, and Justin, and Latanya, if it was like 7 of you guys all like on the email chain, then that's a violation.
Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm good.
okay, so let's see, what else have I been doing with this process?
All right, okay.
I think it's pretty well explains all the things that I've actually put in place currently. I've discussed it. And as I said a couple of times, I'm having a meeting on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think Tuesday, to have a further discussion. One of my takeaways, hopefully, is to have this individual do a presentation at the summit because of her vast array of knowledge of the CCP from the entire state of California that are receiving the AB 109 funding, just to kind of like whatever presentation she can make within, I guess, the allocated time frame. That's something we're going to have to try to figure out too at some point. How many people and what the presentations are going to be like and the lengths. So I think the initial things we've already kind of put in place. Thank you for your volunteerism as far as assisting with this project, because it has a lot of little moving parts, you know, and I can really appreciate some help, especially helping me find the cabs. Are there any other questions?
Another question. Okay, so the summit is only going to be from 10 to 12:30. Is that correct? Okay, so
Yes.
that might limit the number of stakeholders that we're going to have. If you're saying you give them 10 to 15 minutes, that's what? Oh, God, how many could you have in 4, 8, maybe in 2 hours?
Well, we're
Are we
gonna
gonna?
take a pause for a break in there too.
Okay, so that might limit the number of stakeholders you're gonna have presenting, not actually at the summit, but that are presenting is my question.
Correct. And the presenters are basically those who are probably responding first, you know, that they're interested. For example, Santa Clara is going to be a part of that because they responded prior to any of this, you know, with their inquiries about, and I opened the invitation that they could participate the same manner that they did last year, offering technical assistance with their slides. And once they had their slides printed up and prepared, that they could forward to ORJ for it to be screened and held for them. So then that way, as we go along, we'll can kind of construct our presentation points. But it's going to be a just generalized as far as questions or their feedback from what they've done from 2023 to their past years performances and those things that really were highlighted in their entire process with the reentry populations.
Okay.
And just one more thing before we move on, to keep in mind, this isn't who's all going from like our community advisory board, who's all going to the AB 109 mini summit, because last year not everybody was able to attend because of the quorum issues. So is it still like, are we still just doing one person from each subcommittee that is going to be able to attend on behalf of the AB 109 Contra Costa cab? Is that still the plan?
That is a good question, because I couldn't go. I wanted to go, but since Crawford was going and Scott was going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it eliminated. Go.
I
Is that
think
gonna be a question on?
that's a good point.
Yeah, so just something for us to think on.
I think that might be something that we might need to pose to the board as far as participation so that they can earmark it on their calendars ahead of time. You know, generally, one reason why I chose to keep it on the 23rd was because it's a Friday and people have enough time, they can do a half day or whatever might suit their schedule. So Garyana, a question or Chair, Reverend, when do you think would be an appropriate time to really kind of like start getting the board ready, the whole board ready and moving forward with this as far as giving them the dates? I know I did a violation of the Brown Act and I wasn't supposed to send that letter, which is really kind of notification. So do we want to make a public announcement in I guess we could talk about that in agenda planning, but I'm asking you primarily because you're the chair that you might could initiate a conversation around this to make sure that our members are already, you know that this is upcoming and that their participation is really something that we would hope that they'd be able to participate in. And given also that we need to know because of the quorum issues, so that, you know, we don't get to the time of the event and then all of a sudden we can't move forward because of quorum.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And Ozzy, I can also, I was just thinking that it could be introduced at like the next meeting when OCEC gives out their report out. They can say that they talked about this and this is everything that they talked about with the AB 109 mini summit. And we can also send out a poll. So it can be either discussed at the meeting, and we can also send out a poll to see who's interested and who would like to go. And then that can give us some more clarity on who's available, who wants to go, and who doesn't want to go, you know.
I appreciate that. That's great. Thank you.
Okay.
So I think I'm finished with my report out for the mini summit.
Wonderful. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Your presence really makes a big difference. So thank you so much. Our next agenda item is to discuss and review CAB's mission and purpose PowerPoint, and that's attachment 3, starting at page 26. Okay.
Yeah, I looked at this one.
Yeah, I did as well.
Mhm.
I did review this. And I thought it was definitely succinct, full of information. I would just like to add, if there's some way we could add that beautiful mission statement once we go through all the proper channels.
Oh,
I can get it up. That's the only thing that I would like to add. Is that lovely mission statement once we get it all approved. But we can go through this again if you'd like. Did you go over it?
Over this? Yeah, I looked at it. Yeah, I was okay with it. But I agree with you with Reverend Hook that it would be nice to have mission statement or a summary of the mission statement, because who do we present this by to? Is this for our stakeholders? Is it for the community at large? Exactly, who is the audience for our PowerPoint? That's my question.
Would this be for presentations for our CAB members in the event that you might like to do a presentation, faith-based groups or CBOs, community-based organizations, just to kind of like highlight what CAB is doing, some of our accomplishments and, you know, why we're here and exactly the population we serve and the numbers. I think it's a tool, it's another tool that can be used. And I think that I'm guilty. I'm saying this for me to familiarize ourselves with it exactly so that we can actually be able to articulate exactly what our board is about and what it is that we do and our individual roles, what we do and how that ties into this. I think it's a great tool. There's only one thing that needs to be corrected is updated. That last slide needs to be updated.
Okay.
And changing the dates. On
Yes.
April 2023. Updating the dates.
Also,
But
I
I
think.
see-
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm talking out loud.
Okay, no, I was just thinking, didn't we present this at our retreat? Is this something that, you know, when we do our retreat each year, do we want to include this? Or at least a portion of it? Because I like the part like getting involved in AB 109, CAB. Just a thought.
I think was something that was used for our
Part of
retreat.
yes. I thought I
Yes.
recalled seeing it.
The
I recall-
format may be the same, but the information is different. Like
Like that's, yeah.
this is very much like cabs, all about like
That's it.
cab. And in the retreat, it was more like, where did AB 109 come from? How did we, and like the history and like the context. And I don't think any of that is in this presentation. I think this presentation was created for like outreach.
Okay.
Into
That was my question. Was this, okay.
I think so. Yeah, this might be related to like recruiting, volunteer to assist with recruitment.
Okay, okay. All right.
And the other thing is that it's in our toolkit from our drive. So that if you're someplace and you want to pull it up, you know,
Right.
and go over it, if you're, you know, in a space, you have it handy.
Right, I saw it on a Google Doc, that's right, it's over there, okay. I know it looks very familiar, I'm like, I've seen this, I don't know how many times, I'm like, because I'm always in Google Doc, looking at stuff, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Whew, all righty.
Do we have any more discussion on agenda item number 7? Okay, seeing none, we shall move to agenda item number 8, next steps. So I think, I know for sure we're going to move with the adoption and approval of our wonderful mission statement. We're going to identify a new list of current and active board members so that we can divide and assign the ambassador meetings and such. We're going to look into starting our ambassador meeting process, planning process earlier so that we can provide ample time to our board members to fully execute our tasks.
Outline of the dates. Remember, we're gonna have an outline, or is that for CAB or is that for OCEC? Where we're going to sort of set up, I call them guideposts. For, you know, when this is due, when that is that OCEC or is that CAB?
Yeah, OCEC can draft a potential timeline for the ambassadors meetings that you can share with the full board. I don't know if you want to share it with the full board at their next meeting, but yeah, I think that's a great next step. I also have proposed to the board who wants to participate in the AB 109 mission, AB 109 mini summit, research other community advisory boards for the AB 109 mini summit, and I will send out a poll.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we've got a lot of next steps here.
We do.
Okay.
Okay, are there any others?
Good.
Right. Any other comments or questions or concerns? Before we move
To adjourn.
to adjournment?
I have one question.
Yes.
Keep popping up. The flyer that was reconstituted, I guess what we're gonna call it. So, so we have 2 flyers, is that correct? Because when I was looking at the flyers, I thought, okay, you know, the ones that you sent us, Gariana, I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay, this one is a 2-page, in which the front and the back, and then the other one was what I assumed it was geared for the not Gen Z, but a new recruitment type.
Yeah, young
Or
adults.
community type bulletin, okay?
Yeah, the new one emphasizes recruiting towards young adults, even though it does say anyone is welcome to apply for CAB, but it does have an emphasis on 18 to 25-year-olds. They all have both of them have the same information. So if you want to use both of them, that's totally fine. Me and Ozzy just thought drafting a new flyer that had that was targeted for a certain group would be beneficial. So they're both available. They both have the same information and they're both able for you guys to use as a recruitment tool.
We could actually put it out there because I've gone to this library in San Pablo. They have a community board.
They do, yes.
Yes, they have a community board. And I was wondering, could we put the flyers up there? I mean, is there a protocol we have to follow or?
Oh, yeah, the approval and release. I just think, oh, sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no, that's good. Those things I need to know.
I just think at what point we just need to know if and when the flyers are approved and released
That
for physical and digital posting.
Okay.
Yeah. I can follow up with Patrice. I think they're ready to go. I don't know if the places that you want to put them up. I don't know if they have an approval in a approval
Oh, no.
process. Okay.
Yeah, we'll
but-
take care of that.
Okay,
we'll-
perfect.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can follow
Don't
up on
wanna-
our end to make sure, yeah,
Yes.
you guys aren't
We
violating.
don't want to
anything.
violate anything.
We don't want to, you said it, right, we're not,
Don't
we're
act,
not,
white act,
anybody
black
act,
any
we make sure that, yeah, we want to make sure our actions are proper.
That's it.
That's what we want to make sure, right? Because I have talked to the library, because I did a lot of work there at the San Pablo Library. So, and she was okay with it, but she said she'd have to talk to, the head librarian to make sure. And so we've got all the libraries in the county.
Yeah.
We should actually be hitting all the libraries in Contra Costa County.
I
If they have
agree.
community,
Mm-hmm.
and the other was Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
That was the other thing I was gonna ask. Is there a procedure that we have to follow to contact the different chambers of commerce? Because before Evan left, he had mentioned that he had been in contact, but we never got any information from him about, chambers of commerce, that we could, put our flyers out there or at least contact them to let them know about it. Those are my questions. I don't want to violate anything. I just want to know, how far we can go.
Yeah, no, those are great questions. And I'll definitely provide an update, if not
Okay.
today, by the end of the week on
Okay.
the process for contacting and using the flyers and stuff.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful.
All right.
Well,
Right along.
at this point, if all hearts and minds are clear, next agenda item is to actually adjourn this meeting.
I second that motion.
All right. Then,
We are adjourned. Thank you, Oz, for your participation. I really appreciate it.
Oh,
And don't
thank
forget,
you guys.
you can contact me, just hit me up. We're not